Home to 56,000 people, Greenland has its own extensive local government, but it is also part of the realm of Denmark. Despite the distance between Greenland and Denmark, about 3,532 kilometers between their capitals, Greenland has been associated with Denmark politically and culturally for a millennium. Greenland was a Danish colony until 1953, when it was redefined as a district of Denmark. In addition to its own local government, Greenland has two representatives in the Danish parliament, the Folketing. Greenland has around 56,000 inhabitants. They mostly live in the 20% of the country that is not covered by ice and snow. The first humans to set foot on Greenland arrived some 4,000 to 5,000 years ago from the North American continent via Canada after the sea froze in the narrow strait at Thule in northern Greenland. No less than 6 different Inuit cultures have migrated in distinct waves. Greenland's current population is descended from the last migration, the Thule culture, who began arriving in the 1200s AD. At the same time, Norsemen led by the Norwegian Viking Eric the Red settled in southern Greenland. The Norse population disappeared around 1500 AD for reasons that have never been fully explained. Because of the Arctic climate, the people of Greenland mostly live on the coast in settlements and cities. Historically, fishery and hunting have been the key to survival due to the short summers. Greenland's climate and geography make farming almost impossible, except for the extreme south of the country, where sheep farming is popular. Greenland's natural beauty is breathtaking. As the people of Greenland often say, you feel very small in magnificent surroundings that include glaciers, fjords, mountains, and amazing fauna. Icebergs are some of the most spectacular natural formations in Greenland. These majestic floating masses of ice are sometimes several stories high. Icebergs are the result of the constant movement of the Greenlandic ice cap. Only about 10% of an iceberg is above the sea. In recent years, some scientists have warned that the immense ice cap of Greenland is shrinking. Many attribute this to climate change caused by humans. An international team reported in the Journal of Geophysical Research Letters that the ice cap covering Greenland is losing approximately 110 million Olympic-sized swimming pools worth of water every year. Greenland was ruled by Denmark from the early 18th century until 1979, when Home Rule began. In 2009, Greenland approved the Self-Government Act in a referendum. The act means that Greenland can assume additional areas of responsibility. However, foreign policy, defense policy, and security policy cannot be transferred to Greenland. Greenlandic is recognized as the official language. Today, Greenland is a mixture of modernity and tradition. The country is home to contemporary cities with crowded airports, busy shops, educational institutions, cozy cafes, and cinemas. But it also preserves its small towns and traditional settlements, where the primary source of income still is seal hunting. Everyone has access to publicly funded education, a public health service, and pensions. Denmark supports Greenland with a substantial annual block grant. Denmark contributes 2/3 of Greenland's budget revenue, the rest coming mainly from fishing. Potential oil, gas, and rare earth mineral reserves have attracted prospecting firms. Fishing is still the most important driver of the Greenlandic economy. However, the fishing industry is not able to sustain as many jobs as it used to. The Greenland government is investigating ways to profit from the mineral resources of the island, which includes gold, natural gas, diamonds, lead, and zinc. The idea is to attract foreign investment to this sector and to provide the services needed. The number of foreign overnight visitors has risen by more than 50% since 2000, and the number of cruise line passengers stopping by Greenland has grown by around 150% in the same period. Tourists enjoy looking at the drifting icebergs, humpback whales, polar bears, musk oxen, walruses, reindeer, and sea eagles. Greenland. Facts. Capital Nuuk. Area 2,166,086 square kilometers. Population 57,000. Languages Greenlandic, also Danish and English. Life expectancy 71 years for men and 76 years for women. In the local language, Greenland is called Kalaallit, which means land of the people. In Greenland, the sun does not set from May 25th to July 25th. June 21st is the longest day of the year and is also a national holiday. July is the only month when the temperature reaches above freezing. Leaders: Head of State King Frederick X of Denmark, Prime Minister of Greenland, Mute Borup Egede. Mr. Egede took over in April 2021 after his left-wing Inuit Ataqatigiit party won parliamentary elections on a platform of halting a rare metals mining project on environmental grounds. Disagreement over the project led to the collapse of the previous government earlier in the year, paving the way for snap elections. In January 2025, Egede announced a desire to obtain independence from Denmark in the wake of President-elect Trump's comments about buying the territory. The Greenlandic people's opportunity for independence has been adopted through the provisions of the Self-Government Act, thereby creating a legal basis for how independence can be achieved, Egede said. Some key dates in Greenland's history: 982, Greenland discovered by the Norwegian Erik the Red, who calls his discovery Greenland to make it more attractive. In 986, he returns with settlers. 14th to 15th centuries, Norse settlements disappear, perhaps at the onset of the Little Ice Age as temperatures fall significantly. 1721, an expedition led by Danish-Norwegian missionary Hans Egede sees new Danish colonization. A new settlement is established near present-day capital, Nuuk. 1940, Denmark is occupied by Germany during World War II. 1941 to 1945, United States occupies Greenland to defend it against a possible invasion by Germany. 1950, Denmark agrees to allow the U.S. to regain the use of Thule Air Base, which is greatly expanded between 1951 and 1953 as part of a NATO Cold War defense strategy. 1953, Greenland becomes an integral part of the Kingdom of Denmark. 1968, a USAF B-52 bomber carrying nuclear weapons crashes near Thule. Decades later, a BBC report says that despite earlier U.S. claims to the contrary, searchers were only able to locate 3 of the 4 hydrogen bombs. 1979, Greenland attains home rule following a referendum. 1985, Greenland leaves the European Economic Community over disagreement with EEC commercial fishing regulations and an EEC ban on sealskin products. 1999, Danish High Court rules that Inuit were illegally exiled from their land in northern Greenland in 1953 to expand U.S. air base at Thule, but denies them right of return. 2008, Greenlanders vote in referendum for more autonomy, greater control over energy resources, and granting Kalalit or Western Greenlandic status of official language in place of Danish. 2010, Greenland's ice sheet is shrinking faster and making a bigger contribution to rising sea levels, a study in the journal Science confirms. 2013, Greenland ends the territory's 25-year ban on the mining of radioactive materials such as uranium, leading to a boom in mineral resource exports. 2021, Greenland bans all new oil and gas exploration in its territory. Government officials say the environmental price of oil extraction is too high. Rain falls on the summit of Greenland's ice cap for the first time in recorded history, which scientists attribute to climate change. 2024, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump repeats his desire to buy Greenland. Denmark announces a huge boost in defense spending for Greenland. King Frederick changes the royal coat of arms to feature more prominently Greenland and the Faroe Islands.
J.D. Vance has announced that he will lead a high-profile delegation along with his wife to the autonomous Danish territory that Trump wants to overtake. Well, the Vances are expected to embark on the high-profile visit to Greenland from Thursday till Saturday. They will visit the Pitufik Space Base to receive a briefing on Arctic security issues and meet with U.S. service members.
Hey guys, it's J.D. Vance, the Vice President, and you know there was so much excitement around Usha's visit to Greenland this Friday that I decided that I didn't want her to have all that fun by herself, and so I'm going to join her. I'm going to visit some of our guardians in the Space Force on the northwest coast of Greenland, and also just check out what's going on with the security there of Greenland.
The announcement came just hours after Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen criticized the United States delegation's visit, stating that it is exerting unacceptable pressure on Greenland. She said Denmark did not oppose ties with the United States, citing a 1951 bilateral agreement which established US's rights to move freely and construct military bases in Greenland, given Denmark and Greenland are notified. However, Frederiksen disputed the notion of a private visit with official representatives.
Firstly, This cannot be seen independently of the statements and reports we have heard from the American side, here, from the beginning of January until now. Secondly, this is clearly not a visit that is about what Greenland needs or what Greenland wants from visits from the outside now.
Well, it's important to note that Greenland is being controlled by Denmark for centuries, previously as a colony and now as a semi-sovereign territory under the Danish realm. It is subject to the Danish constitution, which means any change to its legal status would require a constitutional amendment. The governments of both Greenland and Denmark have voiced opposition to any US takeover. Polls have shown that nearly all Greenlanders oppose joining the United States. Now, amid the controversy over US delegation's visit to Greenland, President Donald Trump has doubled down on his suggestion that the US should take over Greenland. Well, Trump said his administration was working with people in Greenland who want something to happen, but did not elaborate.
Yeah, well, not provocation. This is friendliness, not provocation. We're dealing with a lot of people from Greenland that would like to see something happen with respect to them being properly protected and properly taken care of. They're calling us, we're not calling them. And I think Greenland's going to be something that maybe is in our future. I think it's important. It's important from the standpoint of international security.